G'day Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur Hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. Hope you're all doing well. It's been a couple of days since our glorious win against Nottingham, ever so slightly dirty Forest FC. I don't know how we picked up more yellow cards for them. I don't think Forest were overly dirty, but they were certainly way more physical than us. Which kind of gets me in a loose way to the subject of what I want to talk about today, and that's Tottenham's disciplinary record. Because I'm seeing this as being a bit of a talking point at the moment, and I'm sort of scratching my head a bit why, actually. If we just look at the Nottingham Forest game, Udogie, his yellow card, I don't know how that was a yellow card. It was barely even a foul, let alone a yellow card. So for me, Udogie, completely blameless of that one. It's just unlucky that we're going to get a suspension out of him. Unfortunate that that's his second red card of the year, or second yellow converted into a red card, however they do it. So I'm scrapping that one. Yves Bissouma, likewise. This is how subjective football is, man. So remember Romero's red card a few games ago? Now, I think that was 50-50, but fair enough for a red card. The Yves Bissouma one, I think, was not even quite 50-50, and I don't think there was any way it should have been a red card. The reason to me why they were different sorts of tackles was Romero, I think, looked more like he had the intent to follow through and stick one on the player. And I'm in the minority of this, you know. I'm just saying these are the examples of how subjective football is, because there's other Spurs fans out there that swear black and blue that Romero's was not a red card, which I totally get. But for me, Yves Bissouma, he was going for where the ball was going to be. The ball moved. He actually tried to pull out of it a little bit as well, and I think the defender, or whoever the Nottingham Forest player was, made a meal of it and got him sent off. The referee didn't give it as a red card. VAR did, because of course they put it on that 1 second loop. So they're obviously going to give the red card. So those two incidents on the weekend, I've been hearing a lot of Tottenham's disciplinary problems since that, but I think, to be fair, you've got to look at the actual incidents. I think it's a mistake to look at the headline stats sometimes. They don't tell the full story. For example, if you look in the fair play table at the moment, which Tottenham are right down near the bottom of, because we've had 4 red cards, and you think of a couple of the teams that we've played that have been so much more dirty than us, main one being Aston Villa, they're kind of mid-table. So according to the headline stats, Aston Villa are a cleaner team than Tottenham Hotspur, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. When I'm watching us play, I'm not seeing a dirty side. I'm seeing a side that wants to win the ball back and maybe sometimes makes a mistake, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that we're dirty or that players are losing their heads. And I find it interesting, you know, that people pick on players like, well, mainly Romero, and you hear a lot of the those jingoisms come out. Oh, hot-headed, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. It's the Hotspur Hippie channel, man. It's the Hotspur Hippie channel. It's not the Hotspur Piers Morgan. But when I see an Argentinian being described as hot-headed a lot, I'm just thinking, is there something else there? It's just a question, man. The other question I would also posit is, if you look at our dirtiest, filthiest player in terms of minutes played on the pitch, who would that be then? Well, it would be Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, with 3 yellow cards in 577 minutes. The other players that have got 6 yellow cards have both played over 1,200 minutes. So in terms of minutes on the pitch, I'm wondering why people aren't pointing their finger as Pierre-Emile Højbjerg as much as other players. Bit of a mystery to me, I'm afraid. I saw, and look, I'm not saying this is about Spurs fan channels or anything like that, but it's the comment. It's you lot out in comment land. Sometimes you do comments out there, not so much on this channel, but on other channels, that pique my interest a little bit with red flags. I saw a comment, I've forgotten who I was even watching, and that's irrelevant because it's not their fault. Tottenham's African players have a problem with discipline, I saw. So I can only assume that they mean Yves Bissouma and Papa Matasar, which, I mean, I can't believe people are actually saying that guy's got a disciplinary problem. I just cannot see that in a million years. But I'm just wondering if they're getting a bit of Destiny Doggy mixed up in there, even though he's from Italy. But you know where I'm coming from. So, I just want to be a little bit careful about the hot-headedness, the, the ill-disciplined sort of jibes we're putting out there. I know I'm gonna, like Lead Belly said in 1938, we've got to stay woke. That's one of the sources the words come from, woke. And I love a bit of woke. So that's what you're going to get on this channel. I think our discipline record is a consequence of how we're playing. We're playing feisty up and at them football. And when players lose the ball, they want to win it back quickly. And in some instances, they've been judged to be over the line by the referee. That's the way Ange looks at it. Ange doesn't seem to be thinking that there's a huge problem. I'm not either. And I want it to keep going. I think the way we're playing as well. I think we've had a bit of unluck with referees, and that all balances out by the end of the year. So if you start changing to tone it down, you're not going to get the benefit of being able to stick them on really and get away with it. But should we be backing off? Because really what this comes down to is the depth of our squad. If our squad was fuller, we'd be able to eat up suspensions like no one's business. But unfortunately, at the moment, it really hurts us. And I think that's part of why I guess it's easy to say disciplinary record, because that is kind of what's causing us problems in some people's eyes. But I don't see it like that. I see it as the squad depth. I'll give it a few more windows and hopefully that'll be less of a problem. And I think if you ask the players that are out there starting games to just rein it in a bit, again, you're not training them to play football the way we want to play football. I'm quite happy to play it this way. And okay, we're going to cop the odd card. That might be luck. It might not be luck. It might be something else. It might be something systemic in the way we're playing. Maybe we are too aggressive. But I'd rather see it than not. If we say tone it down because just look over the bench, it's a bit weak, then we ain't going to be winning games. We've got to keep going the way we're going and just accept, as Ange said in his press conference, that you know what, maybe it is going to be one of those seasons, but when we come out of it, we're going to be a lot stronger. And if we start backpedaling a little bit, we're not going to be as strong. We're not going to be as strong. So I don't mind a bit of physicality in the game. I don't like dirty play as such, and I just don't think we're a dirty team compared to the likes of, say, Aston Villa, Chelsea even. Man United, they seem to be a bit on the nose this year as well. It's up to Tottenham Hotspur, the suits in the big chairs, to make sure that our squad can cope with such suspensions, which hopefully we will start being able to do a bit more when the January window comes around. So it's going to be an interesting game coming up against Everton. More about that later on in the week as I have my thoughts. But yeah, tone it down, Pierre, our most dangerous, ill-disciplined player. Until next time, folks, peace and love, man, and come on you Spurs.